Hello, everyone. Welcome to AG Triathlon. Today, I have with me Jamie Albert for a race recap episode. Jamie recently won Ironman Mallorca. Welcome, Jamie, to the podcast.
Hi, Adam. Thank you for having me.
Massive congratulations on your victory. If I'm not mistaken, then there was no pro field in the Ironman distance because there was in parallel a 70.3 distance. So that makes you actually the overall winner of the event. So very cool. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm 33 years old. I live in Switzerland, near Zurich. And I did my studies in human movement sciences and sports. And that's also what got me into triathlon. I did an internship in Australia back in 2012 with Darren Smith. He was coaching a group of athletes who were preparing for the London Olympics back then. And so I got a lot of insight. Like we had the likes of Lisa Norden, Anne Haug, Bart Ernest, Sarah True, Vicky Holland, and others. So there was a lot of really talented, focused athletes in that group. And I was just like assistant coach. I didn't have important work to do with the athletes. I had an important job to monitor their recovery and all of that, but I wouldn't be the one doing the sessions, obviously, but I saw their work and their training day in, day out, and I had a lot of time to train myself as well. So yeah, when I got back home, I did my first Olympic distance triathlon, and then 2 years later, I did my first 70.3 race, came fourth, went to World Championships back then in Canada. And then 2017, I did my first long distance. And I realized that that's it. Like, I'm not a sprinter. I'm not good. I'm not fast. At like going short and fast is absolutely not my thing. I'm a diesel engine. So I had to go a long distance. And yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I've been enjoying my journey every day. So yeah, I feel like this is perfect for me. That's how I got into triathlon.
Awesome. Sounds like all the coaching experience that you received really helped you to transform it into your personal performance. So yeah, let's dive in. Tell us about the race.
Yeah, so one thing which I think is important to know is that they didn't have a lot of people who signed up for the full Ironman. So it was supposed to be a week later, now like this weekend, but because there was only 400 people on the start list, they decided to move it to the same weekend as the 70.3, which was not ideal. Like we didn't really have our own race. I mean, I understand that they cannot have a race for 400 people. It's just too much organization for so little people. But yeah, it was quite messy on race day. So we started 25 minutes before the 70.3 guys, and we had two swim loops. So we did the first loop, which was really nice because we were on our own and it was really flat, and you swim in the ocean, so that was really nice. And then we had an Australian exit, and we swam into the rolling start of the half Ironman. So that wasn't too good. Like I knew it, so I see a swim coach every 2 or 3 weeks, and I talked to him about that because I was worried that like the swim's not my strength. So we discussed that my strategy would be swimming on the inside, on the far right, not trying to get into a group, just like swim my own and just try not to get involved with the people doing the half distance. Which worked out like quite okay. I had to do some siding around the buoys and stuff, but a bit more than on the first loop. But yeah, it was okay. Like I got around pretty well. I had like 30 minutes for the first lap and then like 32 on the second. Which is a shame, like I couldn't hold that 30 minutes. But for me, it was a huge PB in the swim, so I was super happy just to have swum that well. Like the work I put in a lot of work in the swim recently, because I know that's my weakest, and it showed that it paid off. And then transition in the beginning was okay, but then it was really it's like the longest transition there is, I think, because there was like in total more than 3,000 people, so it's really, really long. And I'm normally really fast in transition, but then it was so congested that I couldn't, like I ran past some people, but at some point it was so congested that you couldn't run your pace through transition, so you were stuck behind people, and that annoyed me quite a lot. But then I just thought, well, it's like that for everyone. It will be like that for the other girls in the competition. So yeah, just breathe and relax, and it's a moment to recover. So yeah, that's okay.
It's actually quite interesting because I was watching the coverage of the Ironman World Championships, and Fenella Langridge had a problem with her wetsuit zipper, and I could totally feel and sense the panic, right? But when you zoom out for the whole race, then those 2 minutes at the end of the day is not going to change much in an Ironman, right? I mean, probably in an Olympic distance, your race is over.
Yes.
But I think it's a very interesting point, right? That some things will go wrong, but when it happens in the swim or even in transition, it's probably very minor, right? So, yeah, but good.
If you're in the situation, you feel like it's an eternity. Like looking at it afterwards, it didn't change anything at all. But in the situation, you feel like, oh, I'm losing time. It's just,
Yeah. Very good. And then transition, a bit slow for your standards, but then you get onto your bike.
Yeah, and then I was just passing people. Like there was lots of groups, and I just didn't want to get involved in anything. I just wanted to do my own race. So I just passed all the groups, and I went out quite hard for an Ironman, I have to admit. Like you always think of, I don't want to go out too hard, but then there was so many people. I just didn't want to be in a group or be drafting, or I'm just so against that. So I just passed everyone I could, and then after like 20k there is a 10k uphill, so the latest there, the problem was solved. Like I'm quite good at climbing, so I was passing a lot of people. There were some fast 70.3 people passing me, but that wasn't an issue anymore. Like you got around quite nicely. I missed the first aid station because it wasn't indicated. Like it was a bit of a downhill, and then when you were going back up the hill just after like 100 meters, there was the aid station, and you were going like 50k an hour. So I didn't have any chance to grab a bottle there. And I mean, the next one was like 15k later, so that was fine. I had enough fluids and carbs on board. But my initial plan was to top up my water bottle in the front. Didn't happen. So I just flew past that one, and was super aware that the next one I had to get water, because I had like highly concentrated carbs in my back bottle, so I needed water, because you cannot drink 90 grams of carbs just like that. So after the downhill and into the next little village, I really had to get that water bottle, and that worked really well. Like I topped up on my fluids, and then it was fine again. And there was still a lot of people until like 70k, and I was super happy to just go right. Like we had to turn right for the Ironman, and all the 70.3 people went left, and that was like my moment. Like now I can go head down and just ride my race. And it was windy, and it was quite warm as well. And like I saw some guys far away, like in the front. And otherwise I was on my own, but that's actually what I like. I could do that all day long. So I really enjoyed that part of the race, even though it was much tougher than like when you have to look out for people and pass people all the time. Yeah. And then we got back to the loop after 120K. And there it was again, like, so there was the 70.3 people again who they were at 70K and I was at 120. So you can imagine like the pace difference. So yeah, I was just riding past everyone again, and just doing my thing and getting the ride done. And yeah, I don't know. The time for me on the bike, time passes quite quickly usually. So I don't really notice what, like where I'm, if it's 80K or 140K. It's just, well, you've got to ride 180, just get on with it. I don't really look at my watch or anything too much.
Yeah. And what about in terms of your competition? So, you know, you have all these people that you're passing and I guess you're going for the overall victory.
Yeah.
Do you know what place you're in at all, or you're just like, let me get out of this mess?
Yeah, I didn't know at all, and I didn't check. I caught some girls as well, and one or two of the 70.3 girls went past me as well, like one in the climb and then another one in a downhill section. And but I didn't know where the other Ironman people were. I just saw the lead male, so the leading male, coming back on that out and back loop we had to do on our own. And he was like maybe 20K or 30K before me, and I didn't see any girls doing that out and back, but you didn't see all because it was like a loop, so you didn't see all of it. I didn't see any girls, but I didn't know if there was someone in front of me. And then the first time I kind of knew, or if I saw someone was at like 130K, I passed a girl with the Ironman number. And I knew her name because she did the race last year and came third. So I knew, okay, she would be like some of the faster girls in the competition, and she came second in the end. So yeah, that's when I moved into the lead, but I didn't know. And I actually only knew when I got to the run. I was in transition and there was some official coming up to me and asking me if I was the first lady, and like, I don't know,
Sure, Yes,
have you seen other women doing the full Ironman? And he was like, oh, I don't think so. Yeah, mate, then I'm probably the first, but I didn't know. And then they came with the lead bike. So yeah, and the guy on the lead bike told me, you're the leader. I'll come with you. So on the run I knew, but before that I didn't know.
Nice. I reckon I could win a race as well like that if they would ask me if I'm the first person.
Yeah.
Very good. Cool. And then the run. So you have the lead bike. Must be an awesome experience. I haven't had the pleasure yet on my end. So tell us a bit about the run.
Yeah. So usually the run's my strength. And I knew I had run 3 hours, 13 minutes in Thun in my last Ironman. So actually the plan was to go a bit faster than that, but I knew I shouldn't go out too hard. So I just settled into a easy pace. That's always my strategy, like run out what feels easy, because after the half marathon, it won't feel easy anymore. And that worked like so because there was so many people on the run course as well. And I had the lead bike and he was like making people move away for me. And sometimes I just followed him. Like, I didn't check my watch too much. It felt easy, but sometimes there was a K, which was just too fast because I just thought I don't want to lose him. And he was checking on me, but sometimes he was a bit far away and sometimes he was close to me. So yeah, it's not that easy to run with the lead bike and not let it pull you or let it stop you or whatever. So yeah, I ran out like a bit too fast in the beginning. it would have been like a 3:07, 3:08 marathon. So I think that was a bit too fast. And then I had some people telling me the splits. So there was some Swiss people, I don't know who it was, and they saw that I was in the lead, and then they told me, "Oh, you're leading by 8 minutes." And then I had some friends on the course a bit later on, and they told me you have 10 minutes, and then it was 15 minutes, and then it was 20 minutes, and I just had a lot of information all the time that my lead was just growing and growing and growing. And so I actually didn't stick to my initial plan to try to really go hard on the marathon, because it was just so nice to be with that lead bike and to have everyone cheer for you. You're the first female, and locals were calling you campeona and all those things. So I just really enjoyed the marathon, like all the way. I had a bit of a down at the half marathon mark, but then there were so many people cheering, and I just thought, well, I'm just gonna enjoy this. This might never happen in my life. And because I had such a lead, I didn't have to push harder. I feel like it was a bit like not my mental strength that I'm used to. Because in Thun, the last race I won, I had to dig a little deeper because I was in second until 34K. So I really had to go for it. And here because I knew I was in such a leading position, it was really a lot of joy on that marathon. And I think that's a good experience as well. It feels a bit weak thinking of it now, like you could have gone faster. But on the other hand, it's like, that's probably never going to happen again. So why not enjoy it?
Yeah, never say never. I mean,
yeah, but
who knows? Yeah, well, phenomenal performance. And by the way, it's funny because you ended up doing a 3:13 marathon again, right? So,
yes,
so that
yeah, I think
that's
it's
pretty nice.
almost on the second. It's like pretty much the same time. And I didn't check my watch a lot, so it was just.
Well, you don't need a watch. You're Swiss to to talk a bit about stereotypes.
Yes.
Jamie, massive congratulations. One last question to conclude this episode then. Kona this year?
Yeah. So I have my slot already. Like I knew I was going to Kona back in September because they had moved Ironman Switzerland from July to September. So when I got that slot, it was clear that I would be going this October. But because I love training so much and like I love pushing myself, I knew that if I was going to push through for a whole year, I would probably be like in top shape in sort of August, and then trying to keep that until October. I would probably rather be overtrained by then. So that's why I actually wanted an early race, an early Ironman, just to make sure that I take a break, because I wouldn't just rest up now. And now because I did the Ironman and it tires you and you enjoy the recovery as well. So now I'll have a break, and then I'm really looking forward to Kona. Yes.
Awesome. Well, looking forward to seeing your performance there. Was great catching up with you. Massive congratulations again for your race. All the best for the rest of the season, and hope to see many good things coming from you this year and in the coming years.
Thank you.